My name is Bob Vonstein. I was here from 1969 to 1978. That was 47 years ago. I taught physical education the first year and driver education. And then Mary Petty was the counselor, and she retired, and I took her place. And I coached boys basketball, junior high and high school, boys football, junior high and high school, track and baseball one way or another. I started with baseball, and then Bill Cowan came, and he wound up being the baseball coach, and I took the track team. And we had junior high football, and the junior high sports, we only had one gym, so we would have practice during physical education class. That's how I got to coach each one of those. And it was quite the experience, because I'd wind up coaching high school and junior high. Junior high would be on Thursday nights, and high school would be on Fridays in football, and it was pretty hectic, but I didn't know any better. I enjoyed it. We had some good teams. We had a couple of teams that I thought football could have won the state, but we got people hurt when we were ahead. Bart Kuhlman, one game I remember we played Ashland, and Bart Kuhlman was the best player by far. And the first or second play of the game, he was in a pile up, and somebody on the other team took his foot, twisted his knee, and dislocated his kneecap, and we lost him and wound up losing the game that I knew we would have won if he was playing. And then another time we were playing well ahead of a team, and Gary Schmidt got hurt. He was the quarterback, and somebody else came in inexperienced, and we couldn't maintain the lead. But those were two games that I remember that we probably could have won. But nonetheless, it was quite an experience. The one game with Bart Kuhlman, that was the coldest day of the year. They couldn't play the national anthem because the valve stuck on the trumpets. And so I remember that. Everybody was freezing. It was absolutely crazy how cold it was. And what else? I can remember I wound up coaching girls basketball when girls basketball first started. And that was quite an experience, because it was, they'd never experienced it before. And I was a little bit too tough and mean to them, trying to get them to be tough. But yet it was when you still had jump balls. It was jump balls and walking, and just took forever and ever and ever. And there was a half-court game, and I'll remember that. I'm sure the girls will remember how mean I was. I'd like to apologize to all of them right now. What else?
So for people who don't know your story, where are you from, and how did you end up at Olpe?
Oh, okay. I'm from Massapequa, New York. I graduated and came out here because a friend of mine was out here playing basketball at Emporia State. And I followed him out here and played at Emporia State for 1 year. And the next year I knew I wouldn't be good enough, and I thought they'd go out and recruit other players. So I quit. The people I played with wound up playing, so I probably should have stuck it out and been a bench warmer, maybe gotten in once in a while. But that's how I got here and came here. And then I wound up coming down. For what reason, I can't remember. We used to come down and scrimmage the high school boys when I was in school in a fraternity, and we'd come down and play against the high school team just for them to have some practice, and got to know the Inwoods, Madge and Stan. And those are two of the best people I've ever met, two of the remarkable people that helped make Olpe the community that it is today. And we left when our children were young, and my son was going to be going into kindergarten the next year, and my daughter was 4 years younger. And I just thought, at the time, Olpe had St. Joe and the grade school. My wife taught at Harmony Hill, and we thought that the classes would be divided when they were in grade school, and they'd be very, very small. And we thought for the best education, they should probably go to a bigger school. I'm from Massapequa High School, and my graduating class was 667 or so. So I didn't want to go to a big school, and yet I wanted to go to a bigger school because I thought it would be better for them. And looking back, it's probably something maybe we regretted for a long time because of how strong the Opie community is and how much pride they have. And it's just a different place. And coming back and seeing how successful things still are and going even bigger and better. Don't recognize the school. It's just fabulous what you've done with it and what you've got planned for the future with this big project. It's quite an undertaking, but I'm sure it'll happen.
So along that lines, can you describe your experiences at OHS with athlete work ethic, relationships that you built, etc.?
Well, I guess I assumed things that I shouldn't assume leaving Opie and going someplace else where that culture wasn't established, it wasn't part of the community. You get to realize looking back what it involves. And it seems like in the good communities where things are very successful, there's a lot more pride and a lot more ownership, and people are playing for themselves like everyone does, as well as their family and the community. And you notice that when it's gone, and you can see it when you come back, and you see the people that keep coming back and back and back and supporting the community. It means something to them that it's as much family as their actual family. And I think that would be hard to teach and hard to replace. And it's hard to get it established when you go someplace else. But I think the smaller towns and the smaller schools have that, where the 5A and 6A schools, it's just not the same. They can take pride in a team, but they don't seem to take pride in the school the way the smaller towns do, in my opinion anyway.
So the last question I have, I'm actually going to bring everybody in and ask, and it's, what do you believe it means to be an Opie Eagle, and does it stick with you regardless of where you go? So I'll ask that at the end, but is there anything else that you want to add to your interview?
Well, just that made lifelong friends here and still see a lot of them, and see the students growing up and now they're grandparents, and it's hard to believe they're still very positive about the community, especially the people that are on this committee. And you can see how it's going to be nothing but successful.